Hey guys, how are you? Well, it's to another day on YouTube, and I made it through another day. And I'm thankful for that. I am broadcasting from the car that I live out of on the YouTube channel that I've run for about a year and a half, and it's been an interesting journey. It's been a good one. And anytime you share your life, it's a level of self-development and a level of tenacity to not want to give up. Because after you do things for a while, when the initial rush is gone, you know, there's a level of tenacity that you have to persevere through, getting not getting bored with something or not getting frustrated or insecure with something. So, there's a lot to be said for just, again, keep showing up, keep doing your thing. But I'm thankful. And what I want to share tonight, all right, and we'll talk about a bunch of things, but what I want to start the topic on as people join the live chat is, does life get better? Does life get better? And as you get older, I think that question, when you're young, you may think you know the answer, like when you're real young, but as you mature, you may say, well, it'll get better when I, get my career going, or when I get, my relationship going. Cheesy McStuffins on the live checking. Howdy to you, Cheesy. How's everything in your world? Cheesy, you living full time in the van, brother? How's life? How you doing, man? Good to see you, Cheesy. Keep pushing forward, brother. But you ask yourself that question. Does life get better? And it's a real question. It's an honest question. A lot of times, people try to make you feel bad or try to make you feel like something's wrong with you. If you question, is life really good? Is it worth it? Will things get better? And times the people who will make you feel bad about asking such questions are not happy with their own life, and they're putting up a facade of fake hope. Because that's what's expected of them. That's what they've been. Well, just keep hoping for the better, keep hoping for the better. But you have to address the realities of life. Cheesy says on live check-in, yep, started full-time van living about 2 months ago. Easy peasy. I'm not mad at that. Keep pushing forward, brother. There's different parts of the journey. Sometimes you're going to feel sad. Sometimes you're going to want to go back to having a house. Um, and go from there. I was actually looking today at some land in the Viking area in Okeechobee, Florida, Northwest, in the middle of nowhere, brother. They ain't getting me out there. There's no way. There was a nice piece of land, about an acre and a half, had an RV on it already, had a deck, had all the utilities. Nice piece of land, 35,000, reasonable, but in the middle of nowhere. Middle of nowhere, no stores, no Publix, no Starbucks, nothing, no cell phone signal. I said, you ain't getting me out there. But love and respect, brother. Chalet, thank you for sharing much. I appreciate that. It really helps me tremendously, and life hasn't gotten better for me, not yet anyway. That's a good comment. Kimberly, hey Kimberly, good to have you, Kimberly. Well, I want to touch. I mean, again, for those who don't know, look, I try to touch on a topic in the beginning, like all the live comments that come in the live chat. That's the real blessing of these live feeds. And Shelly's right, and a lot of people make Shelly feel bad for saying, "Oh, life hasn't gotten better," and then here comes the next thing that people say is that every day above ground is a good day. But when you're having a tough time in life, that's not true, and that's not how you feel. Now, does that mean you should do some dark stuff? No. But what I'm trying to tell you is you have to be honest about life. And yes, you should be hopeful, but you should not be like one of these people that don't acknowledge and don't communicate your feelings. But at the same time, you don't want to be one of these people who they throw a pity party and they throw, this sad hour of crying, of stomping of defeat, and all there's some type of balance in the middle. And, like I go back to, like I've really been focusing on in the past couple months, what's the meaning of life? Will life get better? The bottom line is no one can tell you it's going to get better. No one can give you the magic answer. The bottom line is you make the most of each day and you stay productive in each day and you do the best you can with what you have right now. Everything else is a mind fucking of life. Everything else is a distraction. Everything else is a pity party. Everything else is someone trying to play psychiatrist. Everything else is you playing, I'm a victim. Everything else is just, look, nothing's going to change. You just got to do what you can with what you have. You got to be thankful for what you have. And you got to just push forward, even if the pain is tremendous. There's no magic answer there. But it's better than just getting to a dark place. Because many people do get seduced into that dark hole of questioning everything in the world, not feeling, there's no answer there. And all you do is you get lost in a Bermuda Triangle. You don't want to get lost in a Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle was like supposedly this place out in sea where ships would go, and then they would get lost and there would never be a sign of them. And that's what happens with people who maybe at one time they had hope. Maybe at one time life was going well for them. And then they, maybe life really got crappy, or maybe some things happened, or maybe they got divorced. A lot of people, part of this channel, been through a divorce. Divorce, very painful. But, that's part of life. My parents got divorced. Sometimes divorce is very necessary. You understand what I'm saying? You certainly don't want to stay in a relationship just so you can say you didn't get a divorce. But what I can share with you is you got to go forward. I'm not going to be one of these people that say, you definitely, this is going to get better, that's going to get better. Look, forget all that pep rallies. Now, but what I'll tell you is how it gets better is, saying, look, all right, today is the day that is in front of me. These are the things I need to do, like laundry, like cleaning myself, like going to the gym. You every day, you have some things you need to do, and you have some things you want to do. Even on an off day of work, like today, the first thing I had to do was shave the top of my head. I don't shave my beard that much. Shave the top of my head, gas the car, get a workout in, and do some laundry. So none of them are like really fun things to do, and that takes a few hours. And so here I am like, oh man, you just work 5 days a week. Now you want one day where, you can just do things you want. And so people start this day off and saying, well, fuck that. I'm not going to do the things I don't want to do. Today's my day. And so they get seduced into staying still, doing nothing. And because they didn't do the things they need to do, now they're caught in the Bermuda Triangle. They can't do the things they want to do. Because the way life works, it's pretty wild. The way life works is you actually have to first do the things you kind of don't want to do, get them done, and then do the things you want to do, because then you feel better doing the things you want to do, knowing the stuff you had to do is off your mind. And, that's key. And that's why I really do believe that part of a healthy life is really waking up early, taking no naps, and going to sleep 10, 11 o'clock at night. Now, unless you worked at night shift, or unless you have some type of extreme circumstance, I know some people are night owls, but most people I know that are night owls, they got a bad eating habits, they got bad relationships, and they got bad mental health because they're on a bad cycle. And they get lost in a Bermuda Triangle. Does life get better? Look, as you get older, life ain't getting greater, but in one sense it could. And in one sense, again, don't mind fuck life. So, don't wish that, you were young again. Don't wish that, you did the Jennifer Lopez thing, like you could be hot into your 50s. Let me tell you something. In 15 years, Jennifer Lopez going downhill, and she's going to be hiding from every camera ever, because they're putting pressure on her. Like, how long can she keep up looking gorgeous? Let me tell you something. Jane Fonda was the same thing. Jane Fonda was the Jennifer Lopez of the 60s and 70s. Okay. Where's Jane Fonda now? No one knows where Jane Fonda is. You have a better chance of finding Waldo. Okay. You ain't going to find Jane Fonda. Why? Because she's old and she don't want the cameras to catch her. And the same thing's going to happen with J-Lo. And so forget if you don't look the way you want it, or you're never going to look young again. You're never going to do this. You got to just go out there and make the most of what you have today. Okay. And that's how life will get a little bit better, by making the most of each day. And not compare it to yesterday. You can't compare your look. I don't even care if you get in shape. You ain't gonna look as good as you did when you were 22. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, but that's the mind of, you're trying to think, does life get better? Life gets better by not comparing it to yesterday, by making the most of today. And let me go to some live comments, and then I'm going to go back to just rambling a little bit. Cheesy says, hell no. No more lawns for me. I ain't mad at that. Laugh out loud. Found a beautiful, small, quaint beach town. Everything I need within 2 miles. Well, I like that. And I agree with that. Especially as you get older, you don't want to drive as much, and you don't want maintenance. Right now, I really kind of took home base off my map for a while. Campgrounds do the trick. Look, even if I end up spending $700-800 a month in campgrounds, at least I have freedom, and I don't have to take care of anything. After my campground stay is over, I pull right off that lot. Okay, I got full electric. If in the summertime, if I want to run air conditioning to my car, I may do that. I can do whatever I want. I'm just, for me, that's working right now, and that's how I feel. So Cheesy, me, on the same page. John Settles, that's my brother John. John, stay positive. I appreciate you. I see you out there, brother, and I want you to stay positive on yourself. Good job, John. Good to see you, brother. Shelly, always stay hopeful. I always have. Now, I think that's key. There's definitely no wisdom in giving into the darkness. I just don't get you anywhere. All it gets you is lost in the Bermuda Triangle. So, like, I could understand if you say, all right, if I give up, if I lose hope, then life gets better. I could understand, but it doesn't. Then life gets even worse. Then you're really pissed. So, just try to stay hopeful and do what you can. Cheesy, I found a great gym with a full bathroom. There you go. Not a shower. It's a little more expensive, but very much worth it. Yeah, look, you got to spend money on core essentials, such as a place to shower, a place to groom, a place, where you're going to have Wi-Fi, some type of, things in life. Like I say, everything costs money. People are sometimes shocked at, how much I spend per month living out of my car. Well, let me tell you something. If you're going to live and not just exist, you're going to spend money. But some things are worth money. And, we all, value our joy differently. Kimberly, looking at Nissan NV cargo van on Monday for van life. Going for the low roof for more stealthness. Going to be tight for 2, but there's, 2. Always hotels, that's true, for periodic breaks if necessary. Very true, smiley face. Good luck. I'm going to do a video on stealth camping. I was thinking about that. I wrote that down on my phone. What I learned with stealth camping, meaning if you're going to park and sleep in a Planet Fitness or in some type of residential place, I don't do residential, but somewhere where you're kind of like, in a hotel park, it wears on your mind and it's not sustainable. I've done certain stealth camping before, but what I'm here to tell you is it will work for a season to get you to the next step, but it's not a long-term strategy. So you have to be mindful and you have to prepare. Campgrounds are the only saving grace. It's the only reason why I've been able to sustain living out of my car full-time for 2 years. I think you're going to find the same, because you're going to spend a lot of money if you're going from, rest stop to truck stop to Walmart. And if you're going to be one of these people that you're going to try to make your home a Walmart or make your home a Planet Fitness, why I deter people from doing the nothing wrong with doing a Planet Fitness for one night and like keep it moving or for once in a while. But if you make that a habit and no one says anything to you, and then there may be a day where someone says something to you, and then, you just spent 6 months, 5 months doing that in one place. Now you have you got no experience, you got no courage or anything to go out there and actually figure out how you're going to do it. But again, this is just my opinion. There's many ways to do the same thing. But just be mindful that you don't get complacent in, stealth camping, because it's not a long-term sustainable thing for most people. There's exceptions. That's my opinion. Comrade Goods. Hey, Sam. From South Korea, love and respect to South Korea. Do I love South Korean girls? Yeah, I like Asian girls. Love and respect. Thank you for joining, man. I love that. It's awesome. Tony, love the Bermuda analysis. Thank you. That's definitely how it feels. Good to see you again. How you doing? Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. I feel good. It's great to see our brother Comran from South Korea, man. That's amazing to me that we got people from all over the world. I'm sitting here in Florida. It's about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Drinking iced water. Today was my off day. I did some things I needed to do in the morning, and then I just spent some time walking, exploring. It was kind of a quiet day. Tomorrow I'm probably going to do more walking. I did about 5 miles today, but I did some traveling, and then when I was traveling, I was in the middle of nowhere. I couldn't really walk because I like to walk, like long stretches of paved concrete or something that's flat and comfortable to walk on. Cheryl, what's up, brother? What's going on? You always keep it real. I just try to be myself. Thank you. Very giving person. I appreciate that. Stay strong. I appreciate the love. Same back to you. I believe that, you give respect, you get respect. I believe you give love, you get love. Now, do I believe everyone returns it equally? No. There's certainly people that you can give them great respect, great love, and they'll never return it. So, and that's where you got to have boundaries. That's where you got to cut off people. But that's where you got to also be careful that you don't let those people make you them. Like, you don't become them. Because someone else didn't return that love and respect, as cynical as they are. Just cut them off. Get the hell away from them. A lot of good, decent people in this world don't spend time trying to convince an asshole to be a good guy or a good girl. Cheryl, Jane Fonda is on Grace and Frankie. Oh, I don't know that. It's a great show about older ladies. Yeah, now she's on the Golden Girls. Total disaster, but I'm glad she's out there. AJ, eat a lot of red grapefruit. I'm not really a grapefruit person. And a lot of bananas. I love bananas. I eat them almost all day. I probably have about 4 or 5 bananas per day. Really helps you manage stress. I agree with that. And keep you in a good mood. Now, bananas do have some type of thing. I forgot what they call it. Some type of vitamin or something like that does actually make you feel happier. Shelly. So don't focus on the face and body. Well, you got to look a little hot. Look at the person's heart. That's true, though. My heart. That's true. Now, look, I'm not going to lie to you. Do you want to date some ugly person? No, let's not be disingenuous. Just like I'm not going to sit here and tell you every day is a great day. And come on. But I do believe that you are headed for a disaster if you date someone on vanity, long term. But everyone has to figure that out. I mean, it's all part of life. We mature, we grow. All part of life. Cheesy. Full bath with decor, beautiful towel work, sitting power outlets for electrical shavers and plants. Cheesy, you got a good setup. Sink, toilet too. Cheesy, you got some good setup going on over there. Good job, Yolanda. Hey, hello, Yolanda. Doing my hair, all right? That's what I'm talking about, getting all fancy. Well, listen, I appreciate that. Trying to figure out why my chips aren't seasoned on both sides. Thanks for everything. Love and respect to you, Yolanda. There's wisdom in doing your hair once in a while, shaving your head, manicuring yourself. Especially as you get older. Cleanliness and having a level of upkeep for your hygiene is very important. Again, look, I'm a guy, I got a few shirts, I got a few pair of basketball shorts, I wear no underwear. So I'm certainly not trying to tell you like you have to get all dressed up and all fancy. But, I clean myself regular. I manicure myself. I cut my fingernails. You know what I mean? I shave. I do that. And so that's important for just a level of feeling good. These are all part of life. How's life get better? Well, life certainly don't get better by letting your fingernails grow long. You got little cheesy McStuffins in your butt because you didn't clean your butt in a while. Snatch smelling like, bad salmon. And, you're not taking care of yourself. And that's how bacteria, diseases, and everything else happens. And then you just feel like total disaster. Part of self-care, part of life getting better is self-care. Self-care is real basic. Taking care of yourself. That includes grooming yourself. Showering on a regular basis. Putting on some smell good lotion. Like I tell you guys, that's the one thing I learned in the dating game when I was very young. I was trying to figure it out. You don't wear cologne, guys. Guys, if you're still wearing cologne out there trying to get a girl, total disaster. What you do is you want to smell like soap and a light scented lotion, very light, with a masculine tone, but not too Old Spice masculine, okay? Now, I do recommend the cucumber lotion, okay? Cucumber scented lotion, very light though, and Degree deodorant, and a lot of good soapy smell. You want to smell clean, but a little bit masculine. You don't want to smell like a pound of Old Spice. Total disaster. There's still some people out there doing it. I smell them, and this is a disaster. Light on the cologne, guys. And I would recommend throwing all your cologne out. My opinion. Do what you want. Cheryl. Oh, yeah, potassium. Yeah, potassium is good for you. It makes you feel better mentally and physically. I totally agree with that. Albrea. Hey, Albrea. I think that's Glam Gypsy from Atlanta. Would you believe I purchased a vegetarian Publix sub? Good job today. And I felt great. Yeah, you feel alive. Thanks for the video, Sam. Thank you for watching. And thank you for eating healthy. How does life get better? Eat healthy. I guarantee you, if you eat bad, life ain't ever getting better. And you're going to feel like that. You're going to feel like life ain't getting no better. What I showed today was a video about me eating a vegetarian. If you look at the vegetables, they're alive plants. If you look at meat, it's dead flesh. Cheese is basically breast milk mold. It's decaying. If you leave cheese out for a few days, it's going to smell like crap. If you leave meat out for a couple days, smell like crap. You leave spinach out for a little while, ain't going to smell like nothing. Alive plants will make you feel alive. Dead animals and molded cheese will make you feel sluggish. You over there eating a turkey, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. Watching Netflix, asking yourself, does life get better? It doesn't get better. You know, and now look, if you eat all vegetarian food, will life always be good? No. There's some bad days. Even when I eat plant-based diet, and I make the videos. So again, it's like, look, how does life get better? It just gets better by every day focusing on what you can do that day to make that day as better as possible. No telling what tomorrow will bring. Tomorrow, you could be eating a plant-based diet today. You can be doing your hair like Yolanda, looking all hot and sexy. And then tomorrow, a total disaster can hit. No one knows what tomorrow will bring. And that's what the scriptures always tell us. Like, don't worry about tomorrow. Don't say like, this is going to happen tomorrow. That's going to happen tomorrow. No one knows what's going to happen tomorrow. If you want to make plans, you say, well, God willing, it'll happen tomorrow. But really what you're trying to do is just focus on today. Focusing on today is pretty much all you have in life. Looking at yesterday and thinking too much about tomorrow is a complete disaster. And I get caught in that trap. I fight it every day. Every day there's a battle. Not just for people who are total disaster in their life, but even for people doing great and everyone in the middle. Everyone is fighting the same battle. Some people are talking about it, some people aren't. Some people are taking pictures right now. They're uploading them on Instagram with their family, sitting in the living room. And it's a complete disaster. I was like the stovetop stuffing kid. There was a season of my life where I went to like all of my friends' house because I was very intrigued about what good families do and the connection of lovers. And so I figured, I'm going to go, they got like a good family. I'm going to go hang out with them and see like how life is. And what I learned is everyone's barely holding it together out there. Most people, I'm trying to tell you, like, you think like something magical's going on, like in their world, ain't nothing magical going on. And it was an eye-opening experience to go to people who were married house, people who had big families, and people who, yes, there was love in houses and there was like different celebrations. But what I came to realize is most people are bored as hell with life. They're not happy with life. They're trying to get together for this one day. But the one thing that is wisdom, if you're living a family lifestyle, is make the most of that day. And, get away. What kind of like convicts me is like, you got to get away from judgment. So I'm sharing that as an observation. But what I've also learned in life as I grow and mature is, look, people are just doing them. So if if for some people having get-togethers, having social outings makes their life better, they're doing them. And that's what they should do. For some people like me, that rather be completely by myself in a parking lot watching YouTube on my downtime, going for evening walks, I should do me. How does life get better? By you stop comparing yourselves to other people's life. You stop judging their life. You're going to observe it. So you're going to like give it an analysis and a grade, right? Like, human nature is you look at something, you analyze it, and you give it a grade in your mind. Like, Eddie Murphy said, you're going to grade the fart. You understand? Somebody farts in front of you, you grade how bad it smells. And, you see somebody else's family, like you grade in your mind, like, do they have a fucked up family or do they got a good family? But you also have to, after you do that initial analysis, you also have to shut down that judgment zone. And you have to remember, look, they're just doing them. Let them do them. Let me do me. And that when you get rid of like that comparison, life gets better. Because a lot of times you get in a dark space because you think like you should be like them on Instagram, or you should be like their family, or you should be like this guy, you should be like Jim Cramer, or you should be like this guy, or you should be like Richard Gere, or you should be like J-Lo. But at the end of the day, or you should be like this YouTube guy that has 200,000 subscribers, and I still trying to figure out like what people see. You just gotta be you. You just got to be you. And stepping away from that comparison is how life gets a little bit better. Perfect? No. Better? Yes. All right, back to live comments. Where are we at? That MTOF. What's up, MTOF? Bananas are the one thing still cheap. I agree with that. Under $2 for a bunch. I agree with that. Unless you buy them at Starbucks, it's like $1.25 for one banana. But I totally agree with that. Bananas are cheap, healthy, and have great benefits. I love bananas with coffee, some soy milk bar. These are the health bars I get, by the way, from Target. This is one of the flavors. I also get peanut butter flavor. But look at that, 100 calories per thing and only 3 grams of sugar. They only sell them pretty much at Target, though. I love them. Cheesy. I brush my teeth with activated charcoal 3 times a week. Damn. Oh, my God. Does wonders. Also, I take chlorophyll and Mentos. I always smell clean. Damn. I don't know if that's, like, illegal or safe, but I'm glad that you're clean. Good job. Yolanda. Yep. One day I looked up, and I was older. Yep, all of us. Can't go backwards, that's right. May as well go forward. Yep, that's all we can do. Good job. That's my style. Yolanda, that's why you got the smiley face emoji. Good job. Shelly, I like Irish Spring for men. Well, that's good. That's a, guys, take note. What do I have right now? I just bought some more soap at Target. I think I bought Lever only because it was cheap. Usually I get Dove. So I usually get either Dove or Lever. Sometimes I get Irish Spring. Those are like the top 3 I think I normally get. I usually just get it at Target or Walmart. I'm not trying to impress anybody at this point, but that's what I'm talking about. Cheesy, yes, Yolanda, Tony, Shelly. I love Irish Spring. It's the bomb. I prefer lava soap. I'm not mad at that. Free to be me. So me, Sammy, wood oil. I never heard of that. Instead of cologne, wood oil? I don't know. Well, I remember back in the day, I used to get Fahrenheit oil, like from the guy who sells it on the street. Anyone who grew up like in an urban area, there's always a guy on a corner selling oils, scented oils. And so I used to buy Fahrenheit oil. That was okay, but I started to OD on that, and that started to smell nasty. But you could try that. Kathy's back. Hello, stranger. Stopping by for a few minutes. Well, I appreciate that. Kathy, love to you. Thank you for coming back, and thank you for being back. But always feel free. Look, anyone that's part of this channel, it's not about control or manipulation. There may come a point where you want to unsubscribe to me, then you may want to subscribe back. I've done that with people I watch. But at the end of the day, every healthy relationship is based on one thing, not controlling one another. And I don't want to control people. I don't want to be controlled. I want everyone to live their best life possible. I don't harbor any hate. I have to be free to be me. Like my man has that name, free to be me. I believe in that. And I want you to be free to be you. And we're all different. So there's times like we're like, oh, I don't want to deal with this person. I don't want to deal with that person. And you got to take your own personal care time. Again, I remember like I share this story often, but I was like in my early 20s and there was a couple of girls I knew. They stood when I had the condo. They stayed the weekend at my house. And it was like at the end of the weekend and I was getting frustrated. And I was like being a little snappy with them. And I remember one of the girls, just a friend, said, Sam, I think you need some more you time. And that always stuck out with me. That's the first time like I heard somebody communicate, you need more Sammy time or you need more time for yourself. It's so true. For life to get better, you're going to have to learn how to take personal self-care time. Because if you don't have enough of it, you're going to be an asshole. You're going to be snappy. Because you're the whole time you're with other people, you're thinking, I got to take care of myself, and I'm not. I'm dealing with this asshole. And that's how I felt. So make a mental of that. Gilbert, Sammy, good evening, Gilbert. Good to see you, brother. What's the temperature out there in Queens right now? It's about 70 degrees Fahrenheit here in Florida, South Florida. Tony, what's up, Gilbert? From one Gilbert to another. I'm not mad at that. Shelly. That's right. Everyone has their own issues. Totally agree. Going on in their life. Definitely. Sorry if I didn't get there and there right. That's okay. Always confusing me. Nah, no problem. All love. Keep it going forward. Yolanda. Cheesy. Thanks for $1 million. Cheesy flirting. Gilbert. What's up? How you feel? Yeah, overall I feel good. I'm thankful. Overall it's a positive day. Let me take a little hydration break. It's actually been cold down here in South Florida. I woke up, it was like 65 degrees. That's cold down here in South Florida. I know. A lot of people probably like, I don't know what it is, 40 degrees wherever most people are at. But it was a nice break. I mean, during the course of the day, I think it got up to like 78 degrees Fahrenheit. So it was all right, but obviously I like it a little hotter. Good change of pace. Good for sleeping in your car. The campground, I slept like a baby. I slept till 7 o'clock in the morning. That's usually the latest I'll ever sleep. But I woke up at like 5. I said, I'm not going to wake up now. I'll sleep for another hour. And then at 6, I was like, I'll push it till 7. But once you push it to 7, you should never sleep past 7 a.m. And then like everything's more crowded. Starbucks is more crowded when I get there. Traffic's more crowded. Like when you wake up at 5, everywhere you go, you're usually the first person there. And that starts your day on a good tone. And that's what I found. But you got to take time to relax too. D from New Hampshire. What temperature is it in New Hampshire? Hi. That sandwich you had earlier looked good. It was amazing. Oh, it was a magical sandwich. Thank you. I have that every Saturday. D. I like Lever. Okay. That is what I buy too. Yeah, I bought a 6 bundle of Lever soap. I think I got the blue package. Sometimes I get the green package, but I think this time I got the blue package. Tony, I can't complain, brother. At least snow's gone. Amen. That's a win. Look, how does life get better? Try to find something to be thankful for. I believe in that. I believe that when you're thankful, it helps. Doesn't make things like hokey dokey, but it helps. And a thankful spirit is good. Now, if you're ever dating someone and they're unthankful, get the hell away from them. You will never have a good relationship with an unthankful person. I know someone right now that was like praying for something and they were really like being a pain and they finally got what they asked for. And they got it and they're still unthankful. And I analyze it. I step away from it because I don't want to get judgmental and I don't want to be around them. But I say to myself, damn, this person ain't never going to be thankful for shit. Now, look, I know we all want more. I know we all got, so I understand that. But you guys hear me often, people who watch this channel, I try to always communicate that I'm thankful. And now I know it's harder for some people than others, but try. You got to try as best you can to be as thankful as much as you can. Gilbert, tell me about it. I was so pleased here one day and gone the next. Yeah, time flies. But make the most of each day. That's all we can do. Kathy, stupid YouTube unsubbing me. That's all right. To a lot of people and honoring and bells too. It's okay. I did not dump you. That's okay. I can handle it. I'm mature enough. Like, sometimes people leave your life. Sometimes they come back and then sometimes they leave again. I've done the same thing. I can't judge. I have only one lady I have to sub every day. I'm not mad at that. Kathy, YouTube said the server glitches. Did they? I didn't know that. Kathy, good to have you back. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'm thankful you're back. Thank you. Mel, what's up, brother? Do you have a bucket list? I'm living it. That good question, though. Let me stop there and read the rest of your question. Which one? Well, a lot of the things on the bucket list I've completed. The only major thing on my bucket list still that I would love to be able to do is have a self-sustainable income that I could basically live off of instead of having to like punch the 9 o'clock corporate world. I'm thankful for my job. I'm blessed for my job. But I would love to be able to do YouTube full time or live off investments or something like that. That's my ultimate dream. Because then I could just be creative and then maybe one day I'd even like run for office or something like that. But, you know, can I see it now? I can't fully see it. Like I feel like when I was very young, like I always saw myself in Florida, I mean, but it took me a while to like understand how I was going to map it out. And then some things had to fall a certain way and God's grace along the way. And that's like the same thing, like, you know, with my final major bucket list. Everything else I pretty much completed. The final thing would just be living off some type of other self-sustainable income and just enjoying a fun, creative, inspiring life. And, you know, also adding value to others through sharing my journey and through different things. And that's really it at this point in my life. I don't want kids. I'm not really pressed for a big house. Eventually I may get a home base, but that's really not my bucket list. I remember like one of the first things I scratched off my bucket list was being down in Miami when I was in my early 20s. We went to a bachelor party for my friend. We threw a bachelor party for him down there. And I was smoking a cigar on Miami Beach. And I said, well, cross this off the bucket list. And then there was another hot girl that I dated. And I only went on one date with her, and it was a disaster. She never wanted to go on another date. But I was like, damn, I got one date. That's what I wanted. I crossed that off the bucket list. Having my own business was a bucket list thing. Having a nonprofit, having a radio show, those were bucket list things. Doing a book, that was a bucket list. Being a plant-based diet. I mean, I always kind of saw myself in a tropical place, eating tropical fruit, like being like this type of lifestyle. I couldn't define it, but I felt it. And so that's like a bucket list. So again, I'm saying like my thought process as you asked me that question is a good question. And so my final thing, would just be a self-sustainable income. What's yours, Mel? Shelly, I'm going to make me a vegetarian sub. Good job. Bye, Sam. I'm not mad at that. It's always a pleasure, you two, to see you and listen to you. Awesome guy you are. Awesome woman you are. Love and respect right back to you. Respect to give it. And if it doesn't come back, you know what you say? Peace. I'm out. You know, because if you don't want to give back what I'm giving to you, go F yourself. But I love you. But yeah, get it away. Good job. Janice, 45 degrees Fahrenheit in Connecticut. Thank you for sharing, Janice. Have I ever been to Connecticut? Yes. On my way driving to Vermont and to Boston, I stopped in Connecticut. It was okay. I remember being at like elevation, climbing up. I remember stopping in a Starbucks. I wasn't that inspired there. But it was a good experience. I know that it used to be a big, Connecticut used to be a big tax haven for a lot of hedge firms, hedge fund firms, because there used to be certain tax rules. They may still be in place. That there was a lot of people that used to live in Connecticut before that reason, but that kind of diminished over time. Sailing John. Good evening, Sam. Hey, brother. Great thoughts tonight. Good. I'm just rambling. Thank God somebody likes them. Praise the Lord. So true. Just do you. That's right. Nobody cares anyway. Yes, that's true. Just like the Bronx Tale. I remember Sonny used to say, no one cares. Now, some people do care. So, like, I agree with that statement, but then I also correct that statement. Some people do care, but you're right. No more week here on the boat. One more week here on the boat. Okay. It's sold, not mine. Oh, okay. I was wondering about that. What's next? Not a year planning, just 1 week. One day at a time. I mean, that's how life gets better too. Certainly you want a long-term plan. Certainly you want to have, every long-term plan, every big plan, every bucket list thing it's a big dream or goal, and you have to break it down into small steps. And you can't get seduced into the finish line, and you have to remember to focus on one step at a time. Now, many times I've failed because I got impatient and I didn't want to keep doing the small steps. And I wanted to take a big step, and then I got my ass handed to me. I had to go backwards again. That's part of the journey too. And then you get hit so many times, and then you say, man, life ain't getting better because I don't have the strength in me to get back up. But like I've also shared too, look, if you don't get up, life gets worse because the world will keep kicking you if you stay down. So the answer is to get back up. And as I say that, I've said that many times, but then I said, why do I keep repeating that? I remember there was a documentary I watched on Martin Luther King Jr. And the I Have a Dream speech that he famously gave in Washington, D.C., amongst the monuments, and he gave the speech, I Have a Dream. Many people who were close to him said, people don't realize he gave that speech hundreds of times. And that speech that day, from what I remember in the documentary, it wasn't planned on. It was like he was caught in a moment and he went back to the speech that he often repeats. And you're gonna have certain things that you're reflecting on that are life lessons that keep you like refocused. Never be scared to repeat what refocuses your being to the right vision. So like, don't feel like every time you speak or every time you have to have like this brand new way of articulating what you want. The dream, the vision is many times just repeating what you are looking to achieve through repetition, through keeping the vision in front of you. The speech never gets old, because when the speech comes from like the fire of the belly, from what your focus is, that's why I have a dream, it erupts. Because you've been meditating on it. There's a scripture that says, only meditate, only focus on what is good and pure. A lot of times we focus on what's fucked up. We focus on when we failed, when we were in a bad relationship, when we made bad decisions with money, when we did. And we focus on that. We dwell on that. We don't dwell on the higher things, the vision, the dream. And that's the battle of not flesh, but the spirit. Now you got to constantly keep yourself focused on the vision, on the dream. And that's not easy. It's going to take all you got. But that's how you kind of keep life getting better, hopefully, is by refocusing the mind on what's the dream. Even when a dream seems like it's totally gone. And then reinventing yourself. That's part of the dream too. Gilbert. Gilbert, where are you from? Oh, Gil, talking to the other guy. You cheesy? I don't usually wear cologne. Just a dash of aftershave, platinum, Igusti, something like that. I'm not mad at you, Cheesy. Cheesy out there pulling all the girls. Cheesy, stay single, brother. That's what I say. Who commented on one of my videos today? A good brother. What did he say to me? Oh, Survivor. Survivor. Love and respect to you if you're out there watching me. He said, Sam, and God bless his brother. He went through a divorce, having a very tough time. He has 3 children. He said he loves his children, but his ex-wife is making his life live in hell. And what he said to me was, Sam, if everyone stops having kids, the human race would just totally become extinct. And I said, well, why does the human race have to dominate the world? And then he goes, well, isn't it part of the Bible that humans are to dominate the world? I said, the Bible's written by men, and at some point a man determined that was God. Because there's also part of the Bible that says you should stay single. Jesus said probably better off for a lot of people to stay single. Paul encouraged people to stay single. And there's a lot of other stuff in the Bible that's not good. Not good. Women, be quiet, don't speak in the church. But I love the Bible. The Bible changed my life. But I've learned over time, over maturity, if God lives inside you, which that's what the Bible teaches also, you can figure out what is dogma. Dogma is man-made tradition that is held as infallible. And spirit is something inside you that you know what is true to you and what is just and what is right. And if you're really going to become spiritually mature, you're going to understand these things. And it takes time. And it took me time. I got lost in the sauce too. Like my man Razi G says. I wonder if he ever watched this. Razi G is a friend I met through my journey. He used to always say, he said, Sam, don't get lost in the sauce. I think that's true. Good job. Keep it simple, guys. Don't get fucked. Gilbert, NYC Queens here. Love and respect. What's the temperature in Queens, man? Tony, Maryland. Bro, where are you from, Gilbert? Tony, what's the temperature in Maryland? Gilbert, it's 45 here, Sammy. Thank you, brother. That ain't too bad. D, 30 degrees. New Hampshire, cold as hell. I love you, D. Snuggle up. Cheesy. Ghost, the unthankful and unappreciative. Yes. Cheesy, that's why I love Cheesy, man. Cheesy knows exactly how to hit the right emoji at the right time. You ghost her ass. Good job. And then you give him the ghost emoji. Yes, good job. Tony, NY, shoot, it's cold. And I can't deal with the attitudes up there. But that's just me. That's food hella expensive for no reason. Yeah, I mean, look, there's different vibes everywhere you go. Some are good, some are bad. Sometimes I miss walking around New York City, and sometimes I say, Sam, you did that long enough. Everything, sometimes the country life gets boring, sometimes the city life gets boring. I like to be able to, that's why I like movement. I like movement. Sometimes I'm in the heart of Miami, sometimes I'm in agriculture part of Florida, sometimes I'm in Central Park, not anymore really, but sometimes I'm walking through Harlem, not anymore, but I've done all, and I've liked that variety. I've been in Maryland, been in Baltimore. Travel is a blessing. It'll expand your mind, and you'll find what works for you. What works for me? Right now, just keeping it moving and having no commitments. I like it. Yolanda, ask Sailin' John. Hey, you sold your boat? Yep. Sailin' John about to reinvent himself. That's wisdom. Yeah, I think there's definitely different points in your life where you reinvent yourself. When I got out of high school, I was starting to reinvent myself with my career and with, dressing a different way, trying to dress a little bit more mature. And then I kind of reinvented myself in my late 20s. I disengaged from like my friends completely, and I became a recluse or whatever they call it. I just became a homebody. And I let myself go, but that was reinventing myself. I was like, I'm gonna reinvent myself by just eating whatever the hell I want, spending all my time with my dog, and that's it. And I enjoyed that. And then I reinvented myself in my early 30s, and I was getting my health back together. I was starting to get outside more and be more social. And then I reinvented myself in my late 30s. I mean, I sold my house. I'm living a nomad life. I never thought I'd be doing that. Life requires you to reinvent yourself. And there's different seasons of life. And sometimes, when you ask yourself, well, is life going to get better? For it to get better, you almost have to reinvent yourself. Because life never stays the same. Time is like a river. You can't touch the same spot twice. So really the only way to keep a level of joy is the constant reinventing of yourself. That's true too. And reinventing yourself is kind of like letting go of your old self. Make a mental note, Gilbert, at Tony. That is why I'm planning on leaving here. Yeah, I mean, I can, after a while, I definitely will say the Southern culture on average is a little bit more hospital. I ain't saying that right. Southern hospitality is what I'm trying to say. And the speed is slower, and the culture overall is a little bit more warm and greeting. I would say on average it's true. There's exceptions. There's assholes everywhere. But, I think definitely as you get older, I remember walking in Central Park one day and I heard father say to his child, his child was like, Daddy, when are you going to retire? And the father said, well, when we retire, we ain't living in New York anymore. New York is a nice place to visit and everything else, but after I retire, he said, we're getting out of here. I don't. So I mean, but there's different seasons of life. Certainly people sometimes they grow up their whole life in the South, and then they want to spend a certain season of their life up north in the city. I mean, there's a level of beauty to New York City like nowhere else. Everyone has to kind of determine that. Cheesy. MLK gave that speech on the steps of Lincoln Memorial. I've also been to Lincoln Memorial, overlooking the reflecting pool. Thank you. I have been to Washington D.C. I have visited the Lincoln Memorial, the MLK Memorial, all of that stuff there. I went to Congress. I went to the Supreme Court. I went to the White House, and it was a great experience. When you're walking through that area, you do feel a level of deep history, of deep sacrifice. It is an amazing place to visit. Definitely don't want to go in the winter. I would recommend going in the early fall or spring, because there's a lot of walking. All the monuments are spread out. They got people like riding like those little, I don't know what you call them. Like you stand on them, they got two wheels and they just go like they're in a futuristic Jetsons. There's a lot to see. It's hard to get it all in one day. And there's a lot of walking, so it'd be tough if you had a family. But I would definitely put that on your bucket list. If you've never been to Washington, D.C. and seen some of those things, it's pretty amazing, Tony. I don't blame you at Gilbert. I mean, why you pay so much to deal with so many headaches, and I'm thinking of moving south myself. Now, look, there's still a big portion of money and jobs are in New York and in the surrounding area. And that's why a lot of people stay there. I mean, look, it's beautiful sometimes in the country or in the South or in different states, but it's also harder to get jobs. Not impossible. And for me, look, it's worth it. But that was why it took for me so long to get to Florida, because I wanted to make sure I had a secure job. And I had to kind of fit my lifestyle that if I lose my job, am I going to be able to get another job to sustain this lifestyle? So, it's something you have to plan out, because again, you're always going to need income. Mel, freedom is top of my priority. Freedom is as many aspects in my life. Deep, broad answer, I know. Laugh out loud. But props to you. Your journey inspires many, thank you. And makes relatable, thank you. And enjoyable, thank you. Good to see people doing. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, Mel. I appreciate your support. Thank you. And I mean, in the beginning of my YouTube journey, I kind of I've always liked to share it, so definitely I was part of it. In the beginning, no one watches your videos, and then people watch it, and then in the beginning, you get a lot of different flack. And then even as the creator, you get cynical, like, oh, this is all bullshit. But then I really have learned that you do meet some good people. Obviously you always have to weed out the bad, because you don't want to keep people on your channel that they're just contentious. And look, people are looking for you to entertain them to a certain degree. It's understandable. But there's some, I often say, when I'm seduced into getting cynical in life, I catch myself and say, you know what, Sam, there's some decent people out there. And look, they got their faults, and if you spend long enough time with them, you wouldn't want to be around them. But everyone's trying their best in many, many instances to do their best. And many people are struggling emotionally and mentally and everything else. I met a lot of people that I think of and I pray for often. And that's why I'm thankful that I share different things, that they're really struggling mentally. And I'm blessed if me sharing can help them. Because I understand that pain. I really do. And so that's been a blessing. Yolanda, you've always told me to get back up. Not easy, but that's true. No matter how many times, true. I fall, I never forget to do it. Praise the Lord. Yolanda, amen, says the choir. Good job. Cheesy. Next to the Washington Monument. Yep, beautiful area. Jim, blessings, bro. Thank you. Good stuff. Loving your vibe. Well, Jim, I appreciate the encouragement. Look, when someone gives you a compliment, say thank you and take it. Because, that's a blessing. And I don't mean that lightly. When someone says something positive about you, that's really a blessing. And that's why I try to give that back, but that's why I also receive it. Because when people give you a compliment, you have to store that up. Because you're definitely going to meet people that say something sideways to you or get on your nerves. So what keeps you going forward, is you got to store up the compliments, and you have to receive them. Don't like talk them down, like say, "Oh, you." All right, thank you, and that means something to me, and I appreciate that, Jim. Tony, speak that. Amen. Thank you. I appreciate that, Gilbert and Tony. I was thinking Nevada, maybe. That's an interesting area. I looked at Arizona. Not Arizona. Well, I looked at Arizona. I looked at Gilbert, Arizona, and Chandler, Arizona, when we had the housing crisis in 2006 or 7, because I was like looking at different parts of the country that had a lot of sun, because I didn't know where my life was going to totally end up, but I knew that I wanted to position my life in a hot state climate with sun, because I knew that for me, my mental and physical health are going to be tied into warm weather and having a level of sunlight. I couldn't do the winters. So there were only 2 states I was debating. One was Florida, and that was the top choice. And the other one, I looked at Arizona for a while. And there's some job opportunities in that area right now. I mean, they're doing pretty good. And not a bad choice. Arizona, not a bad choice. Bobby, what's up, bro? You're the man. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Keep it flowing. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that. And I say the same back to you, man. I hope you're doing good. Thank you. Free to be me. Psalms 86:4. Ye are gods, children of the Most High God. Well, thank you. And amen. I remember when the religious leaders questioned Jesus for calling himself God, he quoted, I don't know if it was that scripture, but other scriptures in the Torah, in the Old Testament, that said that same thing. Jesus said, why are you mad at me calling myself God when in the scriptures, in the Torah, in the Old Testament, it says that itself, that you are gods? And every time they questioned Jesus, that's what he would do. He would refer back. It's like being in a courtroom. When you debate law, whether it's in the Supreme Court or whether it's talking about religious law, what you're doing is the law is written, but the law is subject to interpretation. So you have a prosecutor and you have a defense lawyer. The law is the law, but the verdict is based on who can interpret it and communicate it in the proper context and show evidence to that. And, that's why a lot of politicians fight to have certain Supreme Court justices, which I think is a sham that any president, doesn't matter, Republican or Democrat, can appoint a Supreme Court justice, and they're in there for life. But the reason to do that is because they interpret the law. In the United States of America, when you are going up against an issue that is law, you can appeal your case. You can get denied your case. You can appeal it all the way up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court will give basically the final verdict. And they will give their verdict based on the Supreme Court justices' interpretation of how they view the law. And some Supreme Court justices do not view the Constitution as a breathing, living document. They view it as written, non-evolving document. It's everything is to be taken literally. And that's why I'm always upset when I see religious or faithful people that take the scriptures literally in every instances. Oh, there's going to be a horse and the Antichrist, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. And they take everything in the Bible literally. And that's why the life is a disaster. I mean, some people take everything in the Bible literally, and their own children won't talk to them. I don't think you need to worry about what the Antichrist look like and what, is going to happen, and the world's going to happen, and this war is going to happen, this is going to happen. They're taking all that literally, and their children, get the hell away from me. You know what I think? If a person can't, have respect in their own household, they shouldn't be a leader in the church. Very powerful stuff there, guys. Okay. Woohoo! New York is boring. Florida is the place to be. Well, it's all relative. I don't want to be unfair. New York is beautiful. Florida is more beautiful for me, but I spent many years spending time in New York. And for some people, they grew up their whole life in Florida and then they moved to New York. Again, everyone's on their own journey and everything has beauty within it. Everyone's got to figure out their own path. Tony, at Gilbert, don't do Nevada. It's bipolar. It's hot as hell during the day and cold as balls at night. You got to prepare for that. Well, what I found out is everything works for everyone has a different thing that will work for them. Some people, they don't like Florida. And they think it's too hot, too humid. One of the people that I watch on YouTube, he hates Florida. I watch his channel. He's from Texas. He loves Texas. That's him. He likes Texas and New Mexico. So do I judge him? No, that's what he likes. If everyone liked Florida, that would suck. Why? Because then everyone would be dating all the MILFs. I want some MILFs. So the less people that move to Florida, the more MILFs I get. That's a win. So it's good that everyone doesn't like the same thing. Good job. Free to be me. Everything must change. That's true. Good job. Woohoo. Florida and California are the two hot spots. Well, that's what I like. I may eventually go to California, but I don't know. Even though it has fires, that's true. And Florida has hurricanes. But Oklahoma City has tornadoes. New Jersey had a hurricane. Canada's cold as fuck. Everything has pros and cons. Never forget it. But he said overall he likes to go to Cali. I'm not mad at that. Tony? Hey, Sam, have you ever pit beef? You got to try some. Good as hell. I don't know what pit beef is, but I don't eat meat anymore. I don't know what pit beef is, though. Sound job. Yes, reinventing. But I call it a new season. Well, I agree with that. Good job. Cheesy. I was a slave when I lived in a house. So happy that all is behind me. Amen. I feel that. The only home after this will be the nursing home. I understand that. Where I ain't going to do shit. I ain't mad at that. Laugh out loud. Good job, Cheesy. I'm not mad at that. Ooh. Can the average human even retire nowadays? Well, that's a great question. I think it's a sin that in the richest country in the world, our average Social Security is $1,400. And even though you get Medicare, you still have to pay for a supplemental plan. Like they only pay for like 80% of some of your medical issues. They don't pay for 100%. That's why most senior citizens, they end up living back with their children or it becomes a disaster. I think it's a real disgrace. And, no one's really fighting for it. I mean, Bernie, I don't like some of the things that Bernie Sanders does, but when I look at his Twitter feed, he's the only one fighting for the common man. That's the bottom line. I don't like some of the things he says, but look, he's the only one fighting. Everyone else is just pandering, in my opinion. Good question. And he goes, absolutely not. I tend to agree. You live and work till you die. I was telling my friend that the other day. He's got a good career. He's in his 50s going back to college because he wants to get a degree. He's almost done to be a professor or something. I said, brother, you're what, 51 now? You're going to be in your 60s. You finally retire, maybe. Well, he will. He's done good for himself. But, look, when you're at that age, you're not enjoying life that much. Have you ever spent time with people in their late 60s, early 70s? I have. And what I can tell you is they're not doing much. They're spending time around the house. They're trying to find doctors that are close to their house. They're trying to do the same thing like as us. They're trying to make the most of each day. But, society is rigged up so you spend the prime years of your life working your life away. And then you're older, but you have to. Because if you don't work and then you're older and you don't have anything saved, that's hard as hell. So, but the system is a little screwed up. Now, I don't think we should have a system where you never work and everyone, but we got to have more balance. I think the max should be 4-day work weeks. I used to work 4 days a week when I did 4 days, 10 hours a day. And I think that was good. I think every job should be no more than you work 4 days a week. Even if you work 10 hours a day, that's 40 hours a week. I think 3 days off per week is healthy for society. I would institute that if I run for president. We're going to have universal health care. We're going to have no more than 4-day work weeks. No more overtime. Everyone gets a basic income. We don't do overtime anymore. And we'll see what happens. Woohoo. They are called bird scooters, 15 cents per mile. Oh, that's what it was. And then he said, bend over, the government is going to tax you. Well, that's true. Well, corporations are going to tax you too. Corporations, what do? They keep pushing the prices up on things. And they want tax breaks, and they're playing the system, hiding money overseas, doing different, and they got lawyers cutting their tax rate in half, so we got more corporate welfare in this country than anything else. So if you think the government's taxing you, you haven't met corporations yet. We subsidize the oil companies, and does gasoline prices, do they stay stable? No. So it's all a game, but you can't get lost in that circle. It's all a game. Gilbert, thumbs up, bomb emoji. Been there. I can deal with it. Haven't been a choice yet. At Tony, at Inspiration. Oh, I'm not mad at that. You gotta do you, Gilbert. Good to see you, man. I like that. Gucci, Kaka. Okay. Tony. If you think you can do that, more power to you, brother. Amen. That's right. Everyone should do them. D. I felt complimented today. That's positive. I was with one of the grandkids. Good job. And someone thought I was his mom. I'm not mad at that. Good job. I'm happy for you. I remember actually there was a mother who got called a MILF, and she was like, damn, she was happy. Yeah. And I remember when I got called a man whore by my man Academia. That was a bucket list. My whole life I wanted to be called a man whore. I finally got called a man whore on YouTube. That's a bucket list. Good job. Shout out to that language that I don't know how to speak, but love and respect. Gilbert. Thank you, brother. Gotta make life enjoyable. That's true. Can't do it, don't want to. I understand that. I do. Don't much work. That's okay. And an easier life. Need an easier life. I'm not mad at you, Gilbert. Gilbert, I want the best for you. How does life get better? Keep the people that want the best for you. Don't keep people around you that you got to prove yourself to. That are just contentious. Get rid of them. Don't even worry about them. Ooh. Is New Mexico good? I've never been to New Mexico. Janice, the West too far from your mom. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go to the West. I agree with that, Janice. I don't have any plans or desire to go to the West. I think you have to have a desire to do something, or else, there's no drive. If you don't have a desire, as soon as something goes wrong, you're like, what the hell am I doing here? So you have to have a desire to do something. I don't really have a desire to go to the West at this point. Tony, pit beef is a sandwich. It's like barbecue, and they have vegetarian versions. Really? Okay. And I think it's eggplant. Well, I'll check that out. That's a good suggestion. Thank you. Free to be me. How often did you build with the 5%ers up in New Jersey? Not enough to give you a good, I knew a couple people that were, or at least, but not enough that I could give you a good conversation that I'm informed enough about it. And my man says, are you a football player? No, I'm not. Are you? Tony? At Gilbert. Yeah, I'm working on making my own life easier. Sam for president. Well, I'm not mad at that. As long as I can be president from Mar-a-Lago, down here in Florida, I'm not mad at that. I'm going to sleep in a parking lot, though, of Mar-a-Lago. Tony? Sam, what's your Facebook? I don't do Facebook. I have an Instagram. The word inspire_38. You can follow me there. And again, I appreciate everyone who watched the video. If you want to click the thumbs up, share the video, I appreciate that. Rattling down, Gilbert. Good to see you, Rattling. Rattling it down is on a journey with a camper top and her pickup. Let's see what she got to say. And she wants to be a truck driver, I think. Definitely make a move if you can. I love Utah. I'm not mad at that. Don't regret leaving Indiana. I'm not mad at that. I know a couple people who went to do a job in Indiana. They were like a contractor, general contractor. And they went to Indiana. And I love and respect Indiana. But when they came back, I said, well, how was Indiana? He said, Sam, total disaster. Nothing but fat chicks and nothing to do. That's what they said. Now, don't disrespect the overweight girls. Again, I was 350 pounds. But you get total disaster. I said, well, no disrespect, but that's what they said. Cheesy? Yes, balance. That's right. I was wondering before the sun came up and didn't go to bed until long after it went down. Work. Yep. I felt productively miserable. I understand that. I'm catching up on all the downtime. I'm not mad at that. Good charm at Cheesy. For years, it was like that. Now, I understand. You get caught in a rut You get caught in a rat race. I understand that, brother. Uh, your muscles are cool. Well, I appreciate the compliment. I'll take that. I'll take a compliment. Thank you. Uh, World Citizen, much love, brother. Much love back. I appreciate that. Thank you, World Citizen. Love and respect. Rattling down, laughing. Good. It's good to laugh. I often say that. Never forget to laugh. That makes life better. Um, and let me end on that note. Why? Because sometimes, like, I want to like do these live feeds for hours, but also, like I've learned many times in life, is you got to have a time limit for everything. You got to be flexible, but you got to have a time limit for everything. You can't extend things too much. If you extend things too much, something bad happens. You know, you got to kind of like, allow things to run over a little bit, but don't allow things to just go on and on and on, or else it just gets bad. So I'm thank you for everyone who shared tonight. I did the best I could. I want the best for you. I hope you're doing the best you can for your life. Good night, D. And I hope you love yourself. If you're struggling with weight, just do the best you can. If you're struggling with your mental health, just do the best you can. If you're struggling in a bad relationship, do the best you can. The bottom line is just do the best you can. I know it's not easy. Good night, Cheesy. Good night, Free to Be Me. Thank you. Big Mills need love too. That's right. Don't be mad at the Big Mills, man. That's right. Good job, Free to Be Me. And bro looks good on his beard. Thank you. Love and respect. All right. Peace and love.